Thingkho Le Malcha by KSO Media and Documentation Cell. Issue number 79. Wednesday, 29 November 2023. Headlines. Nationwide rally demanding Kukizo's political solution held across the country. India signs ceasefire agreement with UNILEF, expediting political solution for Kukis necessary. Supreme Court panel submits report on Manipur victims. NMC announces temporary arrangements for displaced students of 4 medical colleges in Manipur. Meiteis fire towards Kuki areas on a day of signing peace pact with Sinner. KSO Kerala meets minister from Tamil Nadu government. Mizorum's devotion to education. Weaponization of rape by Bigs, Aram by Tingle and radicalized Meitei society. A call for accountability and justice for the Kukis. Kuki victims update AS on November 25, 2023. Deaths, 153. Villages burnt, 200 plus. Houses burnt, 7,000 plus. Churches and synagogues burnt, 360. Displaced persons, 41,425. Nationwide rally demanding Kukizo's political solution held across the country. As part of the nationwide protest by the Kukizo kindred tribes today, tens of thousands of people marched in 9 towns, including cities and 17 different villages across the country to pressure the central government to settle the demand for a separate administration for the Kukizo kindred tribes in Manipur. Kongwe, the Manipur's Kangpokpi chapter of the nationwide mega-protest was organized by the Committee on Tribal Unity, Sadar Hills under the aegis of the Zo United, a Kukizo civil society organization's parent body for all Kukizo kindred tribes in Manipur. The protest rally in Kangpokpi district was held at Kangpokpi town and Cycle Hill town. Around 10,000 Kukizo people across Kangpokpi district came out on the street to join the nationwide protest rally, which kicked off at Newt Kailhang at around 12:30 p.m. The 1,000 protesters marched towards SP Kangpokpi's office via the National Highway 2 to submit a memorandum to the Deputy Commissioner Kangpokpi to be forwarded to the Union Home Minister. Shops, schools, and all other private institutions in the district remained closed for the day. The protesters denounced the Manipur state government and held placards, such as, "Separate administration is the only solution," Mayday government, down, down, tribal area, tribal government, and no solution, no rest. A similar mega-protest rally was also held in Cycle Hill town with the same demand to settle for a separate administration for the Kukizo kindred tribes in Manipur. Adequate security forces have been deployed by the district administration and district police to avoid any untoward incident during the rally in Kangpokpi town and Cycle. KOTU's General Secretary Lamanlun Singh said the Kukizo kindred family has endured 7 months of ethnic cleansing attack by the majority, who controls the government. And the Kukizo kindred family has borne the brunt of the violence with 203 villages totally burnt down, more than 7,000 houses burnt down to ashes, 152 souls have lost lives and more than 50,000 displaced. He continued that the majoritarian policies of the Biren Singh government led to tensions and a complete breakdown of trust between the Meiteis and the tribals, and this eventually led to the outbreak of the violence. Don't take our lack of public acting skills in front of the camera as our insincerity. Don't take our lack of propaganda as our lack of ingenuity. We believe in facts. Don't make the monster out of us. Just because we don't refute or rebut each and every concocted narrative thrown against us, for we know truth will prevail, he added. He further said that the Kukizo believed in the rule of law, and we believe in our Indian constitution as much as we believe in the rules of engagement with others whether in times of war or peace. Singh further said that the Kukizo may be insignificant in numbers, but we are mighty opponents to our enemies. This war is not just between the Kukizo and Meitei community alone, but a state against the Kukizo community. This war was started by 2 neo-fascist leaders who have radicalized the people with deep hatred that no one can guarantee the safety of other minorities or communities, he added. The Committee on Tribal Unity urged every right-thinking citizen to join hands and stand with us to fight for our right to live in our national-wide protest rally under the aegis of Zo United. It also stated that we urge all our brethren of the country to stand with us today for freedom from this oppressive government and give a semblance of civility if democracy is to survive. Lamka. The rally began from Lamka Public Ground passing through Tipamuk Road, IB Road, Tidam Road and culminated at the Wall of Remembrance site in Tubong. The rally was organized under the aegis of Zo United, a parent body of CISOs for all Kukizo kindred tribes in Manipur. Speaking to media at the sideline of the rally, Zo United convener Albert Renthliai said the rally was being held to speed up the process for the demand of separate administration. On being asked about the center's response to the demand for separate administration, the Zo United convener said, "Our demand have been submitted to the center and written a few months back. However, there has been no response from the government till now. As such, we are organizing a nationwide rally today to press the center for early materialization of our demand. He asked, how long will we continue to suffer amidst the atrocity committed against us? The majoritarian policies of the Biren Singh government led to tensions and a complete breakdown of trust between the Métis and the tribals. This eventually led to the outbreak of the violence. We have been butchered and chased out of the capital and the valley areas. Radicals are publicly saying they will not stop until they chase us all out of Manipur. There is no longer any hope for Kuki-Zo kindred tribes to live a dignified life in a state controlled by the Métis community. A separate administration is the only option for us, Albert said. Thingkho, the protest rally demanding separate administration was also held in Thingkho district headquarters. The rally was organized by the Kuki NP Thingkho under the aegis of Zo United. The protesters shouted various slogans demanding early materialization of separate administration demand. A memorandum addressed to Union Home Minister was also submitted to Deputy Commissioner Thingkho. The rally was also held across the country in various metropolitan cities. Zo United Committee also submitted a memorandum to the Union Home Minister Amit Shah through District Deputy Commissioner concerned. India signs ceasefire agreement with UNLEF, expediting political solution for Kukis necessary. Amidst the ongoing devastated ethnic violence in Manipur, the governments at the center and state went ahead in signing a peace agreement with the proscribed Métis militant group UNLEF on Wednesday. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah has announced on X, formerly Twitter, that the United National Liberation Front, UNLEF, has signed a peace agreement today in New Delhi. UNLEF is the oldest active info-based militant outfit involved in cross-border terrorism. It was among the 8 Métis extremist organizations banned by MHA under UPA. Taking to X, Amit Shah said, a historic milestone achieved. Modi government's relentless efforts to establish permanent peace in the Northeast have added a new chapter of fulfillment as the United National Liberation Front signed a peace agreement today in New Delhi. UNLEF, the oldest valley-based armed group of Manipur, has agreed to renounce violence and join the mainstream. I welcome them to the democratic processes and wish them all the best in their journey on the path of peace and progress. The peace agreement with the UNLEF by the Government of India and the Government of Manipur marks the end of a 6-decade-long armed movement, Mr. Shah said, adding that it was a landmark achievement in realizing PM Narendra Modi's vision of all-inclusive development and providing a better future to the youths in Northeast India. With the signing of a ceasefire with the Métis group, the Métis CMN, Biren Singh has once again validated his partisanship nature or his double-standard role in dealing with aspirations of different communities in the state. He and his political cohorts withdrew the state government from participating in the peace process of tripartite agreement with the Kuki insurgent groups and put pressure on the center government to do the same. On the other hand, he works with heart and soul to broker peace with the Métis militants. He is thus regarded as the most incompetent chief minister and the divider-in-chief of Manipur. It is a serious concern that the ceasefire agreement, brokered by the chief architect of the violence, in Biren Singh, on behalf of proscribed Métis terrorist group UNLEF, PMB, could be employed to bring the Myanmar-based militants into Manipur to annihilate Kuki-Zo people. Acknowledging the political development prevailing in Manipur, it is necessary that the center government must take up most important to the long-pending political demand of the Kuki-Zo people under the aegis of the Kuki National Organization (KNO) and United People's Front (UPF) suspension of operation groups since 2008. During their ongoing negotiations with the Union Home Ministry, the Kuki-Zo militant groups demanded a union territory similar to the administrative setup of Puducherry. Since the ongoing ethnic cleansing pogrom perpetrated by the majority Métis community and complicit with the state administration has claimed 153 Kuki civilians, injuring hundreds and over 50,000 internally displaced, a separate administration for the Kuki-Zo community is the only way to resolve the unrest between Métis and Kukis. The Kuki-Zo communities have been demanding separate administration for 5 districts: Churachandpur, Kangpokpi, Chundel, Thingkho, and Farzal. Mention may be made that after 4 rounds of talks that took place in Delhi on July 16, August 17, August 31, and September 1 between the Union Home Ministry's Northeast Advisor A.K. Mishra and the Kuki National Organization and United People's Front, a charter of demands had been submitted, and the file had reportedly been forwarded by Mishra to the Home Minister Amit Shah. The ball is, thus, in the court of the Government of India, and is expected sooner to expedite the process of separate administration for the Kuki-Zo people for permanent peace and normalcy in this northeastern region. Supreme Court panel submits report on Manipur victims. Of the 166 civilians killed in the Manipur violence, 98 have been identified as members of the Kuki-Zo community while 67 hailed from the Métis community. revealed information provided by the Manipur government to a Supreme Court-appointed committee. In addition, one woman was from the Naga community. In all, 19 women from both communities, Kukizo and Meitei, were killed in the ethnic violence till October 7th. The data from May 3rd to October 7th shows that the families of less than half of all the victims have received compensation between 5 Indian rupees lakh to 10 Indian rupees lakh, while 38 families, including one Meitei family, have refused to accept any compensation from the government. The state government said it was trying to convince the families to accept the compensation. Data also shows that most of those killed were in the age group of 30 to 40 years while 5 were minors, including a 7-year-old boy. Of the 72 families from the 2 communities that received compensation, 28 are Kukizo while 44 are from the Meitei community. While families of less than 30% of the Kukizo victims have received the compensation due to them, families of nearly 65% of the Meitei victims have received theirs, according to the Hindu's analysis of the data. The SC-appointed committee headed by former Chief Justice of J&K High Court, Geeta Mittal, submitted a report on release of ex gratia payment to the next of kin of deceased to the court on Tuesday. The report mentions details of the ex gratia compensation given to families of 169 people who were killed and have been identified. The list of dead and identified include 3 members from the Central Security Forces, 2 from the Border Security Force and 1 from the Assam Rifles, and 3 personnel of the Manipur Police. In addition to this, 6 bodies are yet to be identified. The data provided by the state government mentioned the date of the incident only in 84 cases. The analysis of dates showed that 7 people were killed in the 48 hours preceding Home Minister Amit Shah's first and only visit to Manipur from May 29 to June 1. According to available data, at least 27 people were killed after his visit. The numbers of the dead could be more as the data provided is only till October 7. The state government said that 175 people have been killed, out of which 81 bodies have been identified and claimed by the families, while 88 bodies are identified but remain unclaimed. 6 bodies are yet to be identified. There are instances when bodies of victims are yet to be found and many killings have been reported post-October 7. More than 180 people have been killed in the ethnic violence that erupted between the tribal Kukizo and the Meitei people in Manipur on May 3. Thousands of Kukizo and Meitei community members have been displaced from their homes. Source: The Hindu. NMC announces temporary arrangements for displaced students of 4 medical colleges in Manipur. All displaced students from 4 medical colleges in violence-hit areas of Manipur will be allowed to have online classes or on hybrid mode at Churachandpur Medical College as a temporary arrangement. Further, examinations for all such students will be arranged in that medical college only, and the shortfall in attendance and internal assessment will be arranged through special classes, the National Medical Commission, NMC, has decided. These decisions were conveyed by the NMC to the Manipur government on Wednesday after a team of members from the commission, including the president of Undergraduate Medical Education Board, visited Imphal and held a detailed discussion with state authorities and deans of all 4 medical colleges to assess the situation and find a reasonable solution arising due to law and order problems. The state government has been writing to the Union Health Ministry and the NMC for alternative arrangements for conducting classes and examinations for the displaced students of NIMS, RIMS, CMC, and Shija Medical College in Manipur since the outbreak of violence in Manipur on May 3. After detailed discussion, competent authority and NMC decided that all displaced students from 4 medical colleges in violence-hit areas of Manipur will be allowed to have online classes or on hybrid mode at Churachandpur Medical College. Examination for all such displaced students also to be arranged in that medical college only, and deficiency in attendance and internal assessment to be arranged through special classes. The NMC said in a communication to the Commissioner-cum-Secretary, Health and Family Welfare in Manipur. The state authority may also make an arrangement for utilization of displaced faculties at Churachandpur Medical College. It further informed that external examiners for conducting examination should be arranged by the university or the state authorities from outside Manipur as deemed fit for conducting examinations physically, i.e., offline. Internal examiners may be conducting assessment online. Present arrangement is temporary in nature to resolve the crisis, and this is not at all a transfer/migration, as there is no provision of transfer/migration in regulations. Above permission has been granted after taking into account the extraordinary situation in Manipur and shall be applicable for a period of 1 year or till the situation becomes normal, whichever is earlier. Permission so granted is specific to a specific situation and may not be taken as precedent at all, the NMC said in the communication. Meitei's fire towards Kuki areas on a day of signing peace pact with Sinner. On the day the news of signing ceasefire agreement by the United National Liberation Front, UNLF, with the government of India spread in Manipur, the Meiteis in the peripheral areas started heavy gunfirings towards the Kuki areas surrounding the Impul Valley as a sign of victory. Gunshots from the Meitei areas towards Lamka district were reported tonight in Kangvai, Moangat, Fuljiang, Qingfei, Leloifai, Sugnu, and many others. The Meiteis also indiscriminately fired towards the Kuki-inhabited areas of Kongguay district in Gamjafai, Kangchup, Limakong, Tangnuam, Cycle areas among others. The Kuki-Zo volunteers who were guarding their ancestral lands barely respond to the Meiteis' provocation. The firings are still going on until the filing of this report. Formed in November 1964, UNLF is the oldest Meitei insurgent group in Manipur. Ariambam Samrindra Singh was its founding leader. The aim of the organization is to establish an independent socialist Manipur. The outfit has an armed wing, Manipur People's Army. It is a banned organization under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UPA, which was extended for 5 years earlier this month. Even as the Union government is holding peace talks with most of the insurgent groups from the northeast, several commanders of outfits like UNLF are said to have been hiding in Myanmar. UNLF chairperson Rajkumar Magun was released from Guwahati Central Jail in November 2019 after serving a decade-long sentence. The ethnic cleansing pogrom unleashed by the Meiteis and complicit with the state government under the leadership of N. Biren Singh is about to enter its 8th month. Escalating. Tension between the two warring parties still remains with no semblance of peace and normalcy in the near future. Till date, 153 Kuki-Zo civilians have lost their precious lives, hundreds have been injured and more than 50,000 internally displaced. KSO Kerala meets minister from Tamil Nadu government. The Kuki students' organization, KSO, Kerala, represented by Galungman Haokip and Kim Shur, today met Udhayanati Stalin, Minister of Youth Affairs, Government of Tamil Nadu, and apprised him of the grievances faced by the displaced student community from Manipur. Udhayanati Stalin is a renowned film producer and a South Indian actor, apart from being the son of the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. The meeting deliberated on the KSO GHQ's appeal to the government of Tamil Nadu's support and help to the Kuki-Zo students whose academic careers have been put to a grinding halt owing to the ethnic conflict that started on May 3, 2023. Along with this, the KSO representatives also fervently urged DMK political party support to the political demand of the Kuki-Zo community for separate administration from Manipur government. Mizoram's devotion to education. Mizoram continues to make headlines due to its disaccord with the center on the issue of refugee influx from Bangladesh and Myanmar, and internally displaced people, IDPs, from the Indian state of Manipur. As of October 10, 2023, the state hosts around 72,000 refugees, 12,600 IDPs from the violence-hit Manipur, and about 60,000 refugees from Bangladesh and Myanmar, Hindustan Times. And the number continues to surge, despite having to deal with the monumental tasks of shouldering the influx of these refugees and IDPs. The state was able to assemble its resources to successfully conduct the general election in November 2023. The task accomplished without firing a single bullet, an embodiment of a peaceful state. Furthermore, with narrow and meandering roads amidst the steep hills, the state is also recognized for its strict adherence to traffic rules, following the no overtaking, no honking civic etiquette by all motorists. This is one feature that sets Mizoram apart from the other Indian states. According to a recent study conducted by a Gurugram-based firm, Mizoram is also ranked the happiest state in the country. A commendable achievement that deserves all plaudits. To me, these are simply the manifestations of a learned discipline fostered by high-quality education. Let me cut to the chase. When the dominant Meitei community in Manipur orchestrated an ethnic pogrom against the minority Kuki-Zos on May 3, 2023, hundreds of IDPs arrived in Mizoram. The state was a natural destination due to the Kuki-Zos' strong familial ties and bonding with the Maizos of Mizoram. The Maizos, being the kind-hearted people that they are, went above and beyond any protocol to welcome the IDPs from Manipur. The government, from Chief Minister Joram Thunga to Rajya Sabha MP Van Lovina, was quick to respond to the SOS in that critical hour. Not only were over 12,300 internally displaced persons from violence-torn Manipur given humanitarian relief, but all displaced students were also given free education. Till date, in a remarkable display of humanitarian commitment, the Mizoram government has enrolled over 8,000 children from Myanmar, Bangladesh, and strife-torn Manipur in its schools. The apex student body of the Maizos, Mizo Zerlai Paul, Mizo Students Association, and several other CSOs and philanthropic organizations came to the forefront in lending a helping hand to those that are critically in need of succor. According to the 2011 census, Mizoram has the third highest literacy rate among Indian states and union territories, trailing behind only Kerala and Lakshadweep. Mizoram, at 91.33%, has the highest literacy rate among all of India's 8 northeastern states. Tripura follows in second, with 87.75%. The state is also on the verge of being the second in the country to achieve 100% literacy rate. Mizoram University, founded in 2001 at the 76th position, is one of the only 3 universities in the Northeast to make it to top 100 as per the National Institutional Ranking Framework, NRF, by the Ministry of Education. All these remarkable achievements have been attained within 37 years of its existence as a state in 1986, a lesson that a young state with just 11 lakh population has taught 142.8 crore Indians. This is in concurrence with India's commitment to right to free and compulsory education, RTE 2009, and National Education Policy, NEP 2020, that strives to ensure equitable access to the highest quality education for all learners regardless of social and economic background. Further, this will also improve India's commitment towards the fulfillment of Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Mizoram has traveled a long and winding road to get to where it is now. It has clearly proven to all other Indian states that right moral education and good governance are the best antidote to keep corruption at bay. Despite its youth, Mizoram has demonstrated that regardless of stature, one can be a beacon of hope with the impartation of the right education. The state has risen above adversity and placed itself on a pedestal for all to see, a feat that every Mizo should be proud of. Maintaining existing progress, on the other hand, will be a monumental task that will demand the tenacity and perseverance of all Mizos. Thingkho Le Malcha, Research Scholar, NEPA. Thingkho1994@gmail.com. Weaponization of rape by Bigs, Arambai Tangle and radicalized Mayday Society. A call for accountability and justice for the cookies. The weaponization of rape refers to the intentional and strategic use of sexual violence as a tool of war, conflict, or social control. This reprehensible tactic involves employing rape and sexual assault to achieve specific objectives, such as intimidating populations, asserting dominance, demoralizing communities, or advancing political agendas. The weaponization of rape is a violation of human rights and is recognized as a grave breach of international humanitarian law. Even before the conflict, Bigs have used rape as a deliberate strategy to instill fear and exert control over the Kukizo. Women become targets to disrupt community structures and create instability. Mass rape incident at Parbung and Lungthilian villages in Tipamuk subdivision on the night of January 16, 2006. About 18 militants armed with sophisticated weapons from UNLF cadres dragged the people of Lungthilian to a central place and beat them up mercilessly. 402 people were beaten and tortured, while 15 girls and women aged between 12 and 27 were either raped or molested. The villagers were so terrorized that early on the morning of January 17th, many of them, including women and children, escaped to Mizoram, where about 650 of them have since been accommodated in camps set up by the Mizoram government at Sakardai. When the National Commission for Women inquired, at great depth it was learned that Bigs had also been carrying out atrocities at Parbung. On January 6, 10 girls, some of them minors, were raped or molested and several Parbung villagers assaulted. One boy, whose 2 sisters were sexually assaulted, was shot dead on the same night. These are clear evidence of weaponization of sexual assaults by Bigs as a tool for coercion towards the Kukis. Weaponization of rape in the ongoing Kuki-Mayday conflict. In situations of ethnopolitical conflict like the ongoing Kuki-Mayday conflict, rape becomes a tool for expressing power dynamics and reinforcing divisions. It has been used by Maytays, especially the Mirapaibis and Arambai Tangle, weaponizing it to perpetuate hostilities towards the Kukis. Added to this, the spread of fake news and lies among the Mayday community in the early days of the conflict exacerbated the crime committed towards the Kuki women. To promote their propaganda and strengthen public support, militant Mayday groups circulated the fake news that the Kukis were raping Mayday women in Cherachandpur district. The Director General of Police, DGP, of Manipur, P. Dongel, clarified there were no cases of rape of Mayday women in Cherachandpur. There was also an allegation that a Mayday nurse in the Cherachandpur Medical College was raped and killed. A picture was circulated as proof, but it turned out to be of a woman killed in Mathura, Uttar Pradesh, in 2022. What is more, the father of the purported Mayday nurse, K. Achuba, clarified via ISTV, a local news channel in Impole, that his daughter was safe and the rumors about her were incorrect. Some May Day protesters displayed a huge photo of a woman during a protest at Jantar Manor in New Delhi. They claimed it was of a Meitei woman who was physically assaulted by members of the Kuki community. While the image strengthened the portrayal of Kuki males as hordes of rapists, the photo was confirmed to be of a domestic abuse victim from Arunachal Pradesh. Another widely circulated disinformation was that the bodies of 37 Meitei rape victims along with that of a 7-year-old child are lying in the morgue of Shija Hospital in Imphal. But the hospital has strongly denied the claim. In fact, it has firmly stated that the Shija Hospital does not perform postmortem examinations. Although each of these misinformation campaigns has been discredited and their falsity confirmed, the damage these have caused could not be undone. Many Kuki women bore the brunt of such misinformation campaigns and became victims of targeted violence and varied forms of sexual assault. The perpetrators used the disinformation being circulated and considered or justified their own atrocities as acts of retribution. Here is how Aram by Thingkho, Mirapibus, and radicalized sections of the Meiteis weaponized rape. First, fake news about the rape of Meitei women was spread, maligning the Kuki community. This inflamed communitarian feelings and, ultimately, it resulted in the targeted and justification for rape, lynching, and killing of Kuki women. Accounts of Kuki women who became victims at the hands of Meitei rapists. On May 4th, Meitei mobs comprising men and women and members of the Meitei extremist groups Aram by Thingkho and Meitei Lipun burnt down Hahat's village. She recounted that the attackers came from a neighboring village. She also reported that one of the attackers said, "Your people have raped and killed our people in Lamka and Cherichanpur district. So, we will do the same to you." The mobs bludgeoned Hahat's older brother and nephew to death in a paddy field. She alleged that they disrobed her niece and the widow of the village chief, paraded them naked, and then encircled and raped them in public. Hahat recalled that the Meitei police commandos remained mere spectators to the mob lynchings and burning of homes. She said they even handed over the 2 sexually assaulted women to the mob, which further beat them up. On the same day, in another location, members of a 40-strong mob of men and women told 22-year-old Agnes Nikhote and her friend that if her community's members can do all those bad things, meaning rape Meitei women in Cherichanpur, as the rumor went, then do you think we will let you off easily? She said that members of the mob directly confessed they were seeking revenge, for they said, "Why won't we be able to do the same to you all?" At around 4 p.m. on May 4th, a mob battered Agnes and her friend, students at the Nightingale Nursing Institute at Porompat, Imphal, with sticks, punched them in the head and face until their teeth fell out, kicked them in the stomach and on the back till they were unconscious and left them for dead or to die, she said. On the next day, May 5th, Olivia and Florence from the H. Kopabung village of the Kangpokpi district were raped and murdered just 2.9 kilometers from Porompat. The 2 women in their 20s worked at a car wash in Kanong Mamang, Imphal. Their grieving family members recount that Meitei miscreants allegedly gagged and dragged them inside a closed room and confined them from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. They alleged it was local Meitei women who handed over the young women to the mob and even urged the crowd to assault them as a retaliation. Their co-workers could do nothing to help the young women but heard them screaming and pleading for release from outside the locked room, indicating the possibility they were raped, molested, and tortured. When the room was finally opened after 7 p.m., it was filled with a mixture of the victims' blood and hair. They had succumbed to the brutality. The victims' parents were told that the bodies of their daughters were in the morgue at the Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences, Imphal or NIMS. On May 6th, 45-year-old Thyandam Vaifei, a widow and mother of 2, was allegedly butchered, shot and burned by Meitei mobs in the Phaitang village of the Kangpokpi district. Her body was identified on May 7th by Pastor Tiana Vaifei Suantak, who accompanied the Gorkha Regiment and Andhra police officers to claim whatever was left of her mutilated body. 18-year-old Kim was abducted from Chechen in Imphal on May 15th. She was taken to a compact Meitei settlement on the Wankiai Iang Pali Road, where a mob of men and women allegedly assaulted her, kicking her in the stomach, hitting her eyes with the butt of their gun. When she resisted their sexual advances, they allegedly threatened her with dire consequences, including chopping her to pieces. Her medical report, when she was later examined at a hospital in Kohima, confirmed assault and rape. After regaining consciousness, she felt unconscious due to the pounding on her head. She reported overhearing their plans to kill her. But, feigning the need to urinate, she managed to escape with help from a Muslim auto driver she met completely by chance. These are accounts which have been reported. Needless to say, there will be more which are yet to be reported. Way forward, the weaponization of rape is unequivocally condemned under international law. The Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court recognizes rape as a war crime and a crime against humanity. Efforts to address the weaponization of rape require a commitment to accountability. This involves holding individuals and groups responsible for their actions, bringing them to justice, and providing support and reparations to survivors. Perpetrators such as Arambai Tangle, Mira Pibus, and Meitei individuals like Biren, Pramod Singh, Sanajaba, etc. must be held accountable for these actions in international as well as domestic courts. We the Kukis have faith in the judicial system of our country to punish those culprits. However, it is getting harder to have faith in a system which at times appears to have lost its values as enshrined in the Constitution. Nevertheless, Kukis are proud Indians. It will take an enormous amount of force to break our faith in the Indian way.